Hello, 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 and welcome to the Freak Show. I'm Jaclyn Steele Thurmond. This is my husband, Samuel McHenry Thurmond. And today we are going to be talking about when the vision feels bigger than you, building businesses while growing a baby, because we are in full business growth mode and I am in full baby growth mode.
So I'm going to lead this conversation, yeah?
I wish you could carry the baby. Not that I don't really appreciate my body, but it would be nice if I could hand it off for a few hours a day.
Yeah, if only.
If only. Anyways, this last season has been so awesome in so many ways, and then also challenging, right? Because when you are pregnant, there is a lot of physical demand on your body, as all of you lovely ladies know. And then as you're growing businesses, there's a lot of mental load on your mind and sometimes even physical load as well if you're stressed or anxious or any of those things. And just to give you guys some context, last summer I had a miscarriage. And then after healing from that, I got pregnant about 5 months later, which was such a blessing. But the first few weeks were a little nerve-wracking because of my Hashimoto's. And fortunately, everything worked out. But that first month and a half, we were monitoring my thyroid numbers, trying to make sure everything was good to go because pregnancy is very taxing on the thyroid. It needs all the good thyroid hormones. And so that was kind of a scary, slightly shaky beginning based on having that miscarriage. But then at the same time, I was doing an interior design project, the biggest one I had ever done for a client who plays in the NFL, ended up winning the Super Bowl. So they didn't put a lot of pressure on me, but I put a lot of pressure on myself to really deliver that project in time, under budget, all of the things, while also being under a deadline for a book manuscript, which I was supposed to have done in May, but I had to get an extension just based on how much we have going on. We did just talk about all the blessings, though, and how we are doing things that we've wanted to do and understand that we've prayed for these things and there are some difficulties that come along with them, but it's all just part of the process.
Yeah, you still got to do them.
You still got to do them. And then, we've got the podcast, which is really becoming a business, which is so cool. And I love it. I love creating content. I like writing episodes. I like getting show sponsors. And then we've got the Freak app, which is launched. It's going. There are still some bugs that need to be worked out that I owe the app developers. I think it's been like a week and a half or 2 weeks since they messaged me about a couple things and I need to get back to them, but I just haven't. And so there's a lot going on right now. And I think what all of this is teaching me is that I'm happy that I'm ambitious. It's part of my DNA. It's part of why you fell in love with me. I know that. I also am working on getting into alignment with how my body feels, where my ambition is at right now, and setting high standards for myself, but not so high that they're not achievable during this very tender period of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And then also opening up myself to surrendering and surrendering in faith. And what I mean by that is just going, hey, God, I don't know what to do with X, Y, and Z. I'm just going to give this over to you. Or, let's say I'm 8 months pregnant, which is true. But, I get super tired in the afternoon sometimes. That doesn't always happen. But allowing myself 20 minutes or an hour to just take a break and rest and not pushing myself. Pregnancy is to me, not the time to be pushing ourselves. It doesn't mean we have to sit around and do nothing, but I think there's an opportunity to really tune into our bodies and give ourselves some grace while we are growing something so fantastic.
Yeah, and I think you pushed really hard to you front loaded this year
Yeah.
with a whole bunch of stuff with the intent of getting through it by the time the baby got here.
Yeah. And that was such a good intention, and it's not gonna go according to my plan.
Yeah, but
I
look at
mean,
all the progress you have made.
I have
You know,
made a
look at all
ton.
the things you have accomplished.
Yes, I've made a ton of progress. I was hoping to have, one of my design clients, her home done before the baby comes. But there were delays in the windows she ordered and stuff that's just completely beyond our control that has delayed us several weeks, maybe even a couple of months. And so that's part of the duality of this is having great intentions and planning things out and being ambitious and allowing our ambition to drive us, but also surrendering when it doesn't go according to plan.
Mhm.
It's okay that the project isn't going to be finished. Would it be nice if it were finished? Yeah. But the fact that it's not going to be is also going to be okay. And I trust that because life is happening for me, this project is going to end up being better than what we initially planned
Yeah.
on a different timeline, but it is what it is. Um, and so I think like creating this physical life and then spiritually creating a vision, they're not always aligned at the same time, especially when you're pregnant and you have fatigue and hormonal shifts and, you know, your body is changing and all of these things. You can feel like a walking contradiction. But at the same time, we can be powerful and tender. We can be so full of gratitude and also feel depleted. A couple of weeks ago, Sam and my friend Chrissy and my friend Luba and several other my friends, they threw me the most amazing baby shower. It was a surprise. It was just beyond what I could have imagined. And so that's a perfect example of duality. Like it was so beautiful and amazing and a moment I will cherish and love forever. And I was exhausted at the end of it,
Mhm.
you know? And it's okay to be both. It's okay to be both when you're not pregnant, right? I
Mhm.
think giving ourselves that grace is so important. And every chapter of our lives as we grow and we age, my hope for myself is that I'm always continuing to sharpen my mind and become the best version of myself that I can possibly be. And I have found that for myself, the fastest way to get there is through grace and surrender while also, following a plan and following through on what I say I'm going to do.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's become more and more apparent to me that instead of getting to the point where you have to surrender,
Yeah.
surrendering from the get-go. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like, "Hey, God, here's my plan. This is what I wanna do. Surrender it. You know, if this is where you want me and where you want me to go, I know that things will fall into place. And if not, then there's something even greater." But the point being, as opposed to waiting until things feel overwhelming, or it seems like a mountain you just can't climb, start from the beginning with
Mhm.
surrender, you
Mhm.
know? So that whole entire process is you're not doing that in your own power, in your own strength from the beginning.
Mhm. I think piggybacking off of what you said, there's an opportunity to reframe how we think about things. And in this particular moment, I'm thinking about slowing down without shrinking back. Just because I'm going to have a baby, and that is going to bring with it naturally some slowing down of my productivity. And I'm saying that in quotes, or I'm putting up air quotes. It doesn't mean that I have to shrink back or I'm less of a um I have less value because of that in
Yeah.
any way, shape, or form. But a lot of women feel that. They feel like, well, now I'm this, and then there's an identity crisis, or because of this, I can't do this, and then there's an identity crisis. And I just don't think we have to think like that. I think we can reframe and allow slowness to be seen as something that has divine timing. You know, a flower doesn't come out of the ground and bloom in one day. It has to take root. And then, a stem grows and then a bud forms and then the petals open. And there's always a process. And so I think pregnancy is a really unique time in a woman's life. And I think maybe via me, you're experiencing this too, is that it helps you trust in the unseen work, both in the womb and in your work. So I trust that the seeds that I'm planting now in my business will come to fruition later. And I trust that as I take care of my body and pray over this baby and thank God every night that I'm able to carry this baby, that it will develop and grow as it should. And so far, so good.
Mhm.
Um, just because the pace changes in our lives doesn't mean the purpose disappears. And so I think, again, giving ourselves grace based on the season. There are so many things that I want to accomplish in my life. So many things. But as I get older, I go, you know what? That's not the season for going after that dream. But I am going to go after that dream.
Mhm.
It's just not right now. And understanding that just like God created the seasons, winter, spring, summer, fall, they are also purposeful. We have those in our lives too.
Mhm.
And so, yes, we are in business building mode. Yes, we are in baby building mode. But when the baby comes, we're going to slow down a little bit and enjoy that time with our precious baby and with Roman and soak it up. And then when it feels right, we're going to go right back into building the business.
Yeah, and I don't even look at it as slowing down. I just look at it as a shift of priorities and focus, because
It's
it's not
another great perspective shift.
it's kind of the misconception of balance in life. Obviously, you wanna have as much balance as possible, but when you're bringing a new baby into the world, that baby's gonna get the majority of your focus and your
Of your
time and
balance.
energy. Yeah, it's gonna be a little imbalanced in that
Yeah.
way, so, yeah, I don't it's all good stuff, and the funny thing that often happens too is when you like, let's say when the baby comes, when the focus does shift to the baby, it wouldn't surprise me if other things, like on the business side, fall into place.
Mhm.
I think when we step back a lot of times after a season of driving really hard and you kind of go on vacation or you take a little bit of a break, a lot of times you end up experiencing more success while you're taking
Mhm.
that break than you
And
do
clarity.
when you're hammering away. Yeah. Like I can see the baby coming and you spending time with the baby and then you get hit with 4 chapters of inspiration for your book that just kind of bleed out of you, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh,
Stuff
totally.
like that.
Totally. And the book has been so informed by the last year and a half of our lives.
Yeah.
So it's all in divine timing.
This episode of The Freak Show is brought to you by the Freak app, your pocket best friend for calibrating your mind and shifting your mindset. If you are ready to transform the way you think about yourself and your life, then you are definitely going to want to get your hands on the Freak app. It combines uplifting audio messages with specific frequencies designed to reprogram your mindset and transform your thoughts. With our custom calibrations, that's what we call these audio messages, you'll discover how healing your thoughts can reshape your life for the better. Whether you're seeking stress relief, motivation, or emotional healing, or any array of high frequency emotional states, the Freak app offers tailored support organized by frequency and by activity. By frequency, for instance, we have joy, abundance, serenity, self-love, self-worth. By activity, we have walking, cooking, cleaning, legs up the wall, cold plunging, and about 20 other different categories. This app is not just about helping you to feel good. It's about empowering you to live at the highest frequency daily. I created it because I wanted something that would help me shift my mindset easily and quickly whenever I need it. The empowering audio messages are amazing, if I say so myself. But what really takes them to the next level is the frequency chosen for each message. Our bodies are made primarily of water, and frequency affects water, literally. And so when you listen to these messages, not only is it helping you reprogram your thoughts by bringing awareness to them, it's also shifting the frequency in your physical being. We also have incredible plans for the Freak app. We want to do a sleep series so you can listen to frequency while you sleep and sleep deeper and better. We want to do a breathwork series where we bring in breathwork and teach you how to do breathwork combined with frequency. We want to do a series for children, helping them understand and deal with their emotions. So we have a bunch of calibrations already in the app, but our plans for expansion are enormous. We have a 5-day free trial. You can get it anywhere apps are sold, whether that's on the Apple App Store or Android. It's available everywhere. For a very easy way to download it, go to thefreakapp.com and there are links right in there. And that's THEFREQAPP.com, thefreakapp.com. And you can get all of the information there. Sam and I have put our hearts and souls into this app. We cannot wait for you to get your ears and eyes on it and give us all of your feedback. Thank you, thank you, thank you in advance for trying it out. And we hope it will be as transformative for you as it has been for us. Live on purpose and live on frequency.
Another thing that I want to bring up in this is going back to that concept of alignment and energetic alignment. I think that when we stop, and I did this the other day too, I stopped and I looked at my planner and I was like, I need 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour to just go over what is really important because my planner and my calendar are very full. But not everything in here is super important. So how can I align to have peace in my mind and body with all of the taskers that I'm doing? Because it's so easy to get distracted, right? And so allowing our intuition to say, hey, this is feeling chaotic. I'm starting to feel anxious. I'm starting to feel overwhelmed. And then allowing ourselves a little space to take time and realign. I think that that makes a huge difference. I think when God puts a dream into your heart, it's there for a reason. It is divine. And I love the quote from Joan of Arc where she says, I am not afraid. I was born to do this. It's so inspiring. And God doesn't give random callings, He gives divine ones. But I think what we need to remember is we don't have to have everything figured out right in this moment. All we have to do is take the next right step. And I'm looking at a big quote from Paulo Coelho, who wrote The Alchemist and a bunch of other beautiful books. But I made this quote into a graphic because it means so much to me. And it says, all you have to do is pay attention. Lessons will arrive when you are ready. And if you read the signs, you will learn everything you need to know in order to take the next step. And I think going back to that concept of surrender, that's exactly what we're talking about, summed up into a quote, is that yes, we have these intentions, but we don't know how everything is going to work out. You don't know how your birth plan is going to go. You don't know what the baby's going to look like. There's so many unknowns. But if we just take the next right step, then that's all we need. And the rest will be revealed to us.
Yeah, I'm somebody that not I don't need a plan all the time, and you know that very well.
Yeah, I would say most of the time you don't.
But if I'm pursuing something, if I'm pursuing a goal, that's when I tend to get granular. And I think that
You are very good about that.
there are very good things about that, like
Mhm.
breaking something down incrementally. And like, if I just do this every day, eventually I'm going to get where I want to go. I think that's super effective.
Yeah.
But a lot of
You've
times,
proven that.
if I can't see from A to B to Z, um, I I will get frustrated and don't know how to proceed, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But especially this season, this time of our life, I feel overwhelmingly like literally not focusing on the end goal and just focusing on who I'm becoming in that process, because I think that's ultimately what God wants from us, setting that target out there, pursuing it.
It's so wise.
But what that does is it makes the next step easier, because all you have to think about is what is the right thing for me to do in this moment, and then take that next step, and then the next one will be revealed to you. So that was a long-winded way to say exactly what you just said.
Well, I'm going to take that advice because I was feeling overwhelmed today with everything that we have going on. And I think focusing on who I'm becoming within that frame, I really love who I'm becoming, if I can be so bold as to say that.
Me too.
I really do. And I love who we are becoming together. And I love our life.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there's chaos. Yes, our house is a mess right now. Yes, there are a million things going on, but I love the life that we are building.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I feel like our house is clean for like 5 minutes a day.
Welcome to having a toddler.
Yeah.
And a lot of projects going on. But anyways, closing challenge is this. If you're holding a big vision and it feels heavy, I invite you to pause, breathe, and remember the vision picked you for a reason, because only you can carry it out the way that you are going to carry it out. And that's a very holy and sacred thing. And then the question I want to leave you with is, what's one thing you can let go of today to honor where you are and where you're going? All right. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we will catch you in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening to The Freak Show with Sam Thurmond and me, Jaclyn Steele Thurmond. We would love to connect with you via our website, beckonliving.com, and on social media.
You can find us on Instagram and TikTok at Beck and Living, and you can join our email list to receive uplifting messages, podcast and business updates, and discounts on high-frequency products just for our freaky community.
Cheers to high-frequency living.